What up, everybody? My name is Tyson Lewis, and welcome to Let's Discuss. And what Let's Discuss, we're talking about video game topics. We're going to do review on games, review on movies, and then also reactions to video game trailers, video game tutorials, all that above when it comes to talking about video games, and then also as well as music. I'm really, really excited to talk to you guys today because it's been one whole year that the channel's been out. So it's kind of like the birthday episode, if you get what I'm saying. And I just wanted to give you like a little sneak into the format of which we're going to be, recording things. And so today is kind of like a sneak, preview. As you can see, that we have the topic of today's will be basically talking about the price hike in Xbox Game Pass, as well as what's going on with that and my thoughts on it and where I think maybe the game industry is headed, as well as talking about something dear and special to my heart, with someone that I think I want to give a shout out to, and kind of talk about his channel a little bit more, because for sure helping people and really making a difference just in this world a little bit is if something I can do is just by shouting out somebody that is doing something really, really, really great for the world and just for the people. I want to be a part of that. I want to help as much as I can. So I want to give a shout out to Vernon Jackson. We'll talk about him in a little bit. And then when it comes to hip hop, that's like my blood, like my lifeline. Like video games and hip hop saved my life 100%. Without those, I don't know where I'd be 100. Um, so we're gonna, talk about a group that I love a whole lot. I think their music speaks inspiration and their bars is deadly. Like I don't think not too many people in the industry is messing with them when it comes to bars. And a lot of you guys already know who it is, but they have a new video out, and that video is called "Don't Worry" by Coast Contra. So we're gonna kind of mix those three and talk about it a little bit. So thank y'all for kicking it with your boy, and just relax, kick it, and let's talk about these topics. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Xbox, which is near and dear to my heart. I've been with Xbox Live, I want to say since the iteration. I may be a year off or so, when it was Xbox Live and not necessarily just Game Pass, but I've been subscribed for a minute. Not to throw my age out there. I'm not super duper old, but I'm older than most. When don't let the baby face fool you. But yeah, I've been rocking with Xbox for a minute. I mean, Xbox has its up and downs. Obviously, the golden era of Xbox was the 360 days, and so there's Xbox has just been in a weird spot when it comes to like just the gaming industry in a whole. And the one thing that's kind of just been keeping them in the end, I won't say in the industry, but I would say just afloat against Nintendo and against Sony has been Game Pass. Game Pass has been their outlier, has been their like that their fighting chance when it comes to at least like keeping their name in the space in a positive way. And I don't know, it's a weird situation. Like it seems like Microsoft does this thing where like, or more essentially when it comes to Xbox, they do this thing where they'll give you some really great dope news, and then I promise you 2 months later to another, they'll give you some terrible news. And it's almost like this, soften you up for this terrible news. And eventually, I'm not gonna lie, I know that Game Pass was gonna go up in price. That was inevitable. It wasn't like that was we knew it was gonna stay at this price forever, but to hike it up as much as they did was a shock to a lot of people. Not necessarily that I was gonna go up, but how much it's going up is pretty much where everyone, hits the shock. And, my 2 cents on that is coming from I think they lost a lot of money on Call of Duty. And I wouldn't say lost in a sense of like they didn't make any money on Call of Duty or nothing like that. It's just when you're crunching these numbers and you're looking at Call of Duty and you're looking at Call of Duty from a space, you're looking at Call of Duty from a space of like revenue in a sense as you're buying the actual, physical game or digital. And those numbers are creating this massive, massive number. Now, when you put that in Game Pass, obviously you're not going to get that same those same numbers. So they put themselves in this really like box of okay, we've told our audience that every single game published by us will be in Game Pass day one. Um, so you're looking at basically hoping that the PlayStation faithful all to go out and buy, Call of Duty. And then as we see with the new Call of Duty, Black Ops, what's it, 7 now? Or yeah, Black Ops 7, that they have to basically, they're putting that with Nintendo as well and have to recoup off that. But then also the Xbox players, which are getting it free with the subscription, I think just the numbers aren't adding up the way they need it to. And that's the game that needs to basically, if I was to like speculate, or if I was just to like kind of get an understanding, is that game is supposed to do what it did for Sony. And what it did for Sony is, because they had the marketing rights, a lot of people associated the game with the system, which helped purchase systems. But in Xbox's case, they wanted basically to get PlayStation guys to go, okay, well, look, I'm gonna buy this every year. Maybe there's a couple games on Xbox, like something like a good like pairing of this year. If I was to like manage it, would have been like, all right, Expedition 33. If Expedition 33, we had a demo of it. Well, we did. I think, yeah, we did have a demo of it. But if we had a demo of it in like May, when the game came out, no, I wouldn't say May. A demo of it before, like, when they showed it the first time, and like 2 weeks later, there's a demo and say this is going to be inside Game Pass. Okay, once we get that demo, that's pretty much how I bought the game. Once I played the prologue, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I'm in. I'm locked in. And you'd have paired that with a Call of Duty, I think the Game Pass sales would have sold a whole lot more, because let's just really be honest, Expedition 33 is my game of the year for sure, 100%. There's nothing that I'm playing Yote at the moment, and it's still my game of the year as I have it. So you have a game of the year contender, and then you have Call of Duty. You put those together, at the time, that was close to a whole year subscription. So you market that and then show maybe the PlayStation side that, hey, we have these two games. You just have to subscribe to the subscription and you got it, and you good to go. And I kind of think that's what Microsoft was thinking, to kind of push with the Call of Duty to get more subscribers. But since those subscribers didn't come the way they wanted it, the only way to balance that out, because you're losing a lot of money off of Call of Duty. Not the fact that it's not making money, it's the fact that you know how much money it could make if it wasn't on Game Pass. And my opinion, the only way to like recoup that is to raise the price. That's not excusing anything. I'm just looking at it the business wise as like, if I know I am not going to make the potential bottom line off this game. Like, I know this game could be making us way more money, but we kind of put our, foot in our mouth, and we have to, go by our own rules of what we said is every single Xbox published game is going to be on Game Pass. And I think this is their only way to recoup from that. So that's where we're getting this, depending on where you're at, 50% price hike. And I wanted to talk about more on, like, I live in Europe, and I kind of in this weird situation where I bought everything I've ever had was, when it comes to subscribing to Game Pass, I'm locked in. My region was locked in on my Game Pass, not necessarily the games that I buy, but on my Game Pass, I'm locked in on my region. And my old region is in America. So I don't benefit from the situation of not having to pay a 50% price increase, where some areas in Europe where their Game Pass just stays the same for right now. So I don't have a list. This list doesn't necessarily say, because it says some parts in the EU. It doesn't say, it doesn't give me a list of every single country that's exempt from it. But if this is the Forbes list on it, so if you guys want to check that out, you can. I have it here for that situation. But yeah, it's not all doom and gloom everywhere. But yeah, I can kind of see where Xbox is going, and it's no excuse. Like, for me, I'm already locked in until November, which just gives me enough time to play Ninja Gaiden 4, and then I think after Ninja Gaiden 4, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that because in Swiss francs, I'm actually a little bit more than the prices. Maybe like I think I'm $6 to $8 even more than what the prices actually is for everyone else. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that, and that's crazy to be the first time I haven't had I don't know if live, which merged into everything for Game Pass Ultimate. And the sad thing is, like I said, I just got this new setup for so like having PC day and date along with Play Anywhere would have been nice, but not for that money, to be honest. When I'm only gonna, after that, the only game that comes out that I will be excited about, and we would know when it will come out, would be in January when they do the Xbox Direct or whatever. Yeah, the Xbox Direct with Fable and some surprise games. And Fable will be the next thing that I would have been like, all right, this is what's up. So unfortunately, I'm gonna let go of that because I just have to. It's just something I can't really stand by when it comes to at least be honest with this, or even just be like, hey, we can't afford to have Call of Duty up in here, so we're gonna take that out. I don't know. I think that'd have been, the ultimatum. It'd be like, hey, you can buy Call of Duty separate or have Game Pass. And I think a lot of people would be like, okay, whatever about Call of Duty, especially with Battlefield coming out. So that's gonna be a different topic for the day. Coming out on Friday. So yeah, that's pretty much my little two take on that. It's not, it's serious for definitely for people who families who've kind of ran with Game Pass. I've always gave Game Pass its flowers. I've given Game Pass and Microsoft its due diligence when it comes to making a price that that affordable, and knowing as if I was a 9-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid, and I would have presented Game Pass to my family, I'd have been in a world of good just for the fact that like that's affordable for the family and in how much I play games, and that's all I ask for. If I can just be like, hey, can I, if my grades are good, can I get 6 months of Game Pass for my parents? That'd have been what's up. Like that'd have been nothing for them, and I still would have got the socks and everything else because at that time I was asking for everything. I was asking for all Nintendo 64 tapes, and those joints was $69 a piece, which is funny. Everyone thinks that gaming was cheap back then, but nah, it wasn't cheap at all. Though. Some of them games was $70. My parents was like, "You tripping," but it is what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. That next is something dear to my heart, and yeah, I could have took the time to talk about myself. I could have took the time to like let's talk about the channel and everything like that, but I wanted to talk about this dude named Vernon Jackson. This is his channel here, and what he do is he has a program called The Gifted Event, and what he is, he's a barber. And what he does is he cuts children with special needs' hair. So you have all kids with autism, Down syndrome, et cetera, et cetera. And he helps families be able to get their kids, free haircuts, and he takes donations and everything like that. And why it's dear to my heart is because how my mother and my stepfather met is they actually met through a program called Goodwill. And my mom used to work with adults with special needs. And it's to me, it was like growing up, and she would explain everything to me. And actually visiting, one of the homes one day, and it just realized to me, like, man, that's like kind of sad that, some people just forget their relatives, or some people just let their relatives in home. Be it be if your relative gets too old, or you give your relative to the state, and then the state put them in these homes, and they're like forgotten. And it's super duper sad, and it's unfortunate that this is just kind of like the world that we live in. But there's always bright spots, and there's always bright spots in the world, and there's always people I call like people sent from God, man. Like I believe we're all sent from God, but then people take that extra push and really, use their purpose or use their gift for, actual super purpose. And this guy here, Vernon Jackson, so what he does it for children. And basically, yeah, it's just ask for, donations, and people fly all around from the US to get their children's haircuts. And what makes him very special, he's a very patient man. He's a very loving man, that you could tell that he loves what he does and he loves the clients that come in and get haircuts. And it's an extremely hard job. It's not an easy job, and it's extremely hard on the parents as well because you have to really understand that some kids who are autistic, like some kids don't like to be touched. Some kids don't like loud noises, and you're doing something that like one being touched and it's a very loud noise next to their ears, next to their comfort zone, and so it gets very difficult to try to give a kid a haircut because those are the main utensils that he uses, and then as well as like someone's being skilled enough to also use sharp tools around the children as well. And just children alone is difficult to do haircuts. One of my first jobs I ever had was sweeping up hair in a barber shop. And I had to put the stool up, help the kid up. And then as soon as you put the kid up, it's cry time. And as soon as the clippers cut on, it's game over. Like it's hollering and screaming and all types of things. So like, yeah, it's not an easy job to do, and it's hard on the parents because they have to find the right people to be able to do it, and most of them just do it themselves. And a lot of great stories that come out of these situations, and he gets to interviews the parents and talks to the parents and like, where did you come before, or who did you talk to before? And I'm sure some of you guys seen it on maybe a short or seen it something on YouTube. I just wanted to take this time just to talk about um, his channel and what he does, man, because it's a beautiful thing and it's just something that a lot of us may not think about or take the time out of our day to just understand that, like, yeah, some people, their lives are drastically changed by situations and changed by outcomes, and just for us to be a little, be human about certain things. And I just wanted to give a shout out, maybe give a subscribe, and if you do have, he has his LinkedIn tree here where you can donate. You can watch videos, subscribe to his channel, all this different stuff like this that we have here that is essential to even if it's like, hey, I got some, even if you're barbers, any barbers that are here, you want to donate some utensils or something like that, maybe some lines, some edgers you don't use anymore or something like that, maybe give him a holler, anything to help, because this man's doing something good and he's doing something really positive. And then like I said, it's hard for a lot of these families. There's you're looking at doctors, you're looking at going into different therapies and stuff like that, and it ain't cheap. It's not cheap at all. And then the next thing you have to do is find a barber or something like that. And so we try to make people's lives easier by helping them out. So if y'all can for me, just give this man a shout out. Subscribe to his page, you know what I mean? Even if it's making a comment or something, doing positivity, keeping this man's spirits up like this, because too, it's also hard as well. Like, he has a heart, and you see, like, he gets touched by a lot of the situations, boss. A lot of the situations that, are faced where some kids are, special needs, but they're in a situation that they may not need to be in, and someone's maybe come in and helped out or whatever like that. So yeah, I just wanted to spend some time on something other than just video games and other than just like myself or something like that, and really give a shout out to somebody who's doing something really positive in this world. And I really, really hope that all you guys can at least check out his page and at least give him a subscribe, and just we love what you're doing, something like that. And if you are able to donate a haircut or something like that, that goes even further. So thank you guys for giving me that time to like let y'all know about this man and what he's doing in this world, because we just need a little bit more of that, especially with everything going around right now. So yeah, so I appreciate y'all for listening to me on that. All right, and then something that I think it should be cool. So basically, how I'm gonna do like reviews and stuff is I don't know, not reviews, excuse me. How I'm gonna do reactions is usually when it comes to like video games. I already had one before, and I like to give y'all a super super duper thanks. Is one of my most viewed videos that I've had organically as well, and it was the me reviewing the Hideo Kojima OD trailer, and that was like really really cool to see the response. And I messaged everybody back who gave me a message and gave me some feedback on how I could do this thing better. And I like, same in this video, you let me know how I can do things better. I really, really appreciate it, because like I said, I want this channel to grow, and I believe we can do something great, especially for like, Vernon Jackson. And I'll go out of my way to find other people who are doing really amazing things in this, world. And we need to pump that up with the positivity. So I had a really great response on that video, and I'm trying to take some of those ideas and move it to everything. And then one of the things that a lot of people told me was that they loved the fact that I let the video play and I didn't just stop it every 2 minutes or whatever like that to give my take. So what we gonna do on the reactions and anything that's like reviewable, if it, let's say if it's a trailer or something like that, I'll let it play first, and then after I let it play, I give you my breakdown. I'm not necessarily gonna give a bar breakdown because I'll be honest with you, I've seen this music video already, and I already saw the song. They did a song on a radio podcast before. So this is just more for you guys' entertainment and just to see the type of hip hop that I love and the type of hip hop that I like. And I'll be finding different artists, some artists you may not heard of or whatever. Everyone kind of knows who Coast is at this point. But they one of my favorite groups, if not my favorite group at the moment. And they creeping up on some of the legends too. Like they're a fire group. So I just wanted to give you guys a little taste of the type of music that I listen to and the type of music that I like. So after we watch it, then I kind of do some breakdowns of some shots and stuff like that that I really like, and maybe a couple of bars here and there. When they do their sit down at the table type stuff, that's more when I'll go into a bar breakdown. So yeah, we just gonna sit back, watch this video, and it's kind of be the last segment of the day. And yeah, we'll just do it like that. All right.
Who said light don't come from pitch black? Who said one life can make an impact? Who said they rules can rule on our maps? Who said that? Who said that?
All this game come for free, don't worry. Money don't make you rich, don't worry. Smiling don't cost a thing, don't worry. Ain't no price on that shit. All this game come from you, don't worry. It's your voice and it's too, don't worry. Who else gon' speak the truth, don't worry. It's our time in this bitch.
The news say this is the sound of our society. Stress levels high, it sound like your anxiety. People getting high, drugs come in variety. Cause pharmaceuticals, they gon' profit off of sobriety. The streets say this is the sound of our struggle. We live check to check, 9 to 5 hustle. Try fast money, the feds just might bust you. Everybody snitching, so nigga, we don't trust you. The youth say this the sound of confusion. Who left the God, the problem child to solutions? Daddy done left me, the old head's useless. And mama say I'm just like him, goddamn. The women say this sound like my frustration. Broke ass niggas, they ain't shit. I hate man, he better drop a bag, a purse, a vacation. Ain't no being faithful, fuck him and then replace him. The men say, don't this sound like bullshit? Want 6 figures from a nigga, but won't fuck a man below 6 feet if he ain't rich. Y'all too hard on a nigga, that's why life's a bitch. And we say this shit sound like an agenda. Sound the alarm, we tryna forewarn niggas. Pit me against you, what really is the issue? Good and evil, black and white convince you. Rich and poor, gay and straight offend you. Divide and conquer, that there's the mantra. They play both sides, all of our enemies sponsored. Amplified chaos, feel like the vibes way off. The savior is unity, we all coach contra. Lean into your conscience, think for yourself, cause false prophets, they can't help, they just profit. Look inside, you'll find the wealth they can't pocket. I said move down, let me speak. I got something to set you free. I got something that you can't find. I got that shit to blow your mind. I got something to make you move. Just that shit that make you break the rules. I got that shit the wrong nigga proof. And now it's all up to you.
Yo, my nigga, look, the baby need new shoes and the rent pass due. Shit's getting harder every day, thank God we made it through. No me importa si no entiendes. If you don't understand, don't trip, de pa mi gente. Donde sea que esté, estoy contigo, mira al frente. Sigue atente contra la corriente. Muchos se han ahogado en mi flow por accidente. Hay que tener fe, no te preocupes de las cosas de la vida que no puedes resolver. Habla con Dios, siempre está presente. No estás solo, eres suficiente. So you gotta have faith. No te preocupes de la gente en tu vida que no puedes entender. Todos no son amigos, solo pocos son fiel. Mira las cicatrices en mi piel. What else can I say?
Yeah, back to life. I came from sacrifice. Combat my vice. I rap on mics. I'm a afterlife. Still gonna be black as Christ. So don't cross me, cause he might feel. Had to take it back to basics. Brick by brick, my foundation. Like a drug. Love is the law of our creation. I followed the law, and that's what makes me a real nigga.
All this game come for free, don't worry. Money don't make you rich, don't worry. Smiling don't cost a thing, don't worry. Ain't no price on that shit. All this ain't come from you, don't worry. It's your voice in this too, don't worry. Who else gon' speak the truth, don't worry. It's our time in this bitch.
Who said light don't come from pitch black? Who said one life can make an impact? Who said they rules can rule all our mass? Who said that? Who said that? Who said light don't come from pitch black? Who said one life can make an impact? Who said they rules can rule all our mass? Who said that? Who said that?
Let's Alright, let's sing this joint. Yeah,
Don't get off that like that. Come on, eat.
Yeah.
That's why we got that.
If I smell grits in the morning, it's a good day. Roll my weed while I'm yawning, pour some OJ. Yeah. It's a good day. Let the kids play. It's a good day. Shit is okay.
Hey. Yeah. So yeah, that was Coast Contra. If it's your first time hearing them, they're a super dope, super talented group. Go check them out. They're Coast Contra, Area 51. I think it's the production, their production, as in the sense of like the production group. They're independent artists. Hopefully they don't go to the majors. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that like independently, I think they'll be more free and creative. And as you saw in the video, the content they talk about, is more on a conscious level, more on a just look what's going around. Look what's happening around you type, joint of just one of my favorite is Raz's. Raz's 16 is when he's talking about basically like, or Raz and Taj. They're both talking about how the government, we see that this is agenda. We see that basically you're putting men and women together and you're having them fight each other, black and white, gay, straight. You're putting everybody at a fight, fighting, and we see that this is an agenda, like this is being pushed on everybody. It's not everybody's feelings, it's just that's what's popping around so much. It's kind of trying to make you pick a side or something and just go, all right, I'm on this side, so I gotta fight you, and I really like that them two going back and forth, on those bars. And then and then Rio, he's always the real. He always bringing you like the real when he's like, rent's due, baby need new shoes. Like, yeah, like he's always gonna give you the home version of like what's happening, like Eric Jamal is gonna give you the super high quality bars, and he's also gonna tell you about what's going on in the world. And then their twins is gonna give you the polarity of like, good, evil, bad, whatever, however you want to see it. They're gonna always have a polarity with them going back and forth in a lot of the tracks that they do. And then you're always gonna have Rio that brings it all in together, and he's gonna talk about like the soul. He's gonna tap into the soul and tap into like the grime, because he comes from Colombia, and so that's why you heard the Spanish that pops in. So he's coming from like the my homie gonna laugh at me when he's talking about, because we talk about football in a sense of European football, and he's like the grassroots. So he comes from the grassroots of like the slums, and so he's talking the slum talk, where a lot of us that come from certain parts of the ghetto, or certain parts of areas where we just grew up, where it's a little bit more poverty stricken, and we have the same like understanding of like certain things, how certain things go down in the hood, or however like that be. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's like the type of hip hop I listen to. And if you heard at the very end of the track, that smooth sound jet like that's my like ultimate sound. Like Isaiah Rashad is a artist that I really like. When he had the Sylvia demo, that sound, man, that sound, that type of sound, that's my like jam, like that type of hip hop. I'm a De La Soul dude. I'm old, I'm talking about old school Kanye. I'm in the college dropout stuff area. I mean, there's anything that you think about is boom bap-ish, hip hop, Nas, and then my favorite. You have DJ Premier is one of my favorite producers. Like anytime I hear a DJ Premier beat, I want to rap, and I don't even rap. So like, this is the type of music that I jam to. I like chill, vibed out music. So yeah, that's the stuff I really, really get into. Obviously, my favorite actual artist is Kendrick. Not saying, I mean, what's really funny about like Kendrick, what was cool about how I got introduced to Kendrick was really funny because it was in the early teens when it was just like obviously Drake was out and it was just Cash Money was just everywhere and it was just Cash Money, Cash Money, and I was kind of like getting drowned out on the party and girls music, and I heard Swimming Pools, and it was one of those moments where I was just like, they played like some Drake, they played like some Tiger, and this is when I was living in California, and I was just like, yo, if I hear one more of these like type of songs, I'm gonna lose it because the radio just kept playing it over and over again. I think they played like 2, 3 Drake songs back to back. Nothing wrong with Drake, but it was just like, all right, I'm kind of over it. Then Swimming Pools came out, but what happened was is the DJ like he mixed in he mixed it in and he mixed it in on the hook. So this isn't the first time of me hearing Kendrick Lamar, but it's the first time me understanding that it was Kendrick Lamar, if that makes any sense. Like I've heard Section 80 before by knowing K Dot, but not knowing who Kendrick Lamar is. And in some parts of Section 80, I'll say his name, but it just wasn't registering. And I was still in the same groove of like hearing the same type of music. So when it was Swimming Pools and they were talking about getting a pool full of liquor and jumping in, he only cut into the hook. So I'm like, not another alcohol song. And I didn't get to hear the bars. And then later he remixes it and starts it all over. And then the bars kick in. And I'm like, oh, he's talking about like dealing with that type of stuff. So, and I was like, oh, that was pretty clever to have the hook kind of sound. It's not party-ish, but if you heard it the way I heard it, playing back to back to back to other party stuff, it fit very well. And so like at the moment I was like, oh, not another one. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. And so it was and then after that, I was like, I actually like the way he did that. And then I went back and then this was like Good Kid, obviously Good Kid, Mad City. And then I actually heard Good Kid, Mad City in full, and I was hooked. After that, I was like, nah, this is the dude. Like, this is the one. Like, you've been waiting for the one that's in that Jay-Z type joint, in that Nas top joint, that like, you could tell, man, you could just tell when certain people hit the scene, and you just know that, nah, this dude's special. And so that's basically it on the Kendrick Lamar rant. But yeah, Coast Contra, man, Coast Contra, I put like this. If they ever if Kendrick Lamar and Coast Contra ever hooked up and they end up getting on a track, Kendrick better write, and that's where I'm at when it comes to how dope I think Coast Contra is. Is like Kendrick better write. I'm not saying obviously it's Kendrick, but I'm saying these two ain't nothing to mess with when it comes to these tracks. Like, and this is for those who may be new to Coast Contra, this is a very like light bars. These are the lightest I probably heard them speak in bar range because they're really trying to push a message. But if you want them to go bar for bar, nah, they ain't too many people. RJ Payne, that's like I'm just trying to say people who can even get on that, like, Payne, he on there, and obviously Benny the Butcher and all these other two. But I'm saying like as amount of tracks I've heard Coast Contra do, and the amount of times I'm like staring at the screen like, you serious? It is, what I mean? The only group that does that to me is the Lox, and that's why I said like the greats, they're on the heels. I mean, Jada's, when I was younger, Jada was my number one. And then just the Lox as a group was my number, because no one was spit, like at that time, no one's spitting bars like that. But I can go on all day about hip hop. I ain't trying to hold y'all all day. I can speak about hip hop until the sun come up, the sun come down. Same as when it comes to video games, the sun come up, sun come down. So I really, really appreciate y'all kicking it with me today. That's going to be it for today. If y'all can for me, always hit that like button. Always hit that subscribe for sure. I think the next joint we're going to come up with is going to probably do on Friday. Hopefully I'll be able to have it up for you guys, and it'll be Battlefield 6. I've been waiting on that joint for a minute, as many people have been waiting on that joint, so I'm super excited to play that. And then I finally did get Silent Hill F. So for those who really love the OD review, or the OD trailer review slash like overview, I'll be playing some Silent Hill F as well. So yeah, kick it with your boy. Tell people about the channel. You know, it's really exciting. And if you guys got any advice or anything like that, or any constructive criticism, I'm one to take it and try to move on. You know, move on to, you know, making this channel better. So I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much. God bless you all. I hope you guys have a dope day. Peace.